watch this whole interview, but I do want to hear what they was talking about, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, I'm so excited to have this conversation.
After watching 10 minutes, I'm ready to apply for an NBA head coaching job on LinkedIn. I miss LeBron. I miss his LeBron without the pressure of reporters are asking about the GOAT or trying to defend his legacy or explaining the losses and wins. Just pure basketball without the bullshit. Just keep this up. The most respectful comment section with no GOAT talk towards LeBron I've ever seen. Who knew LeBron and JJ would make the perfect match?
It'll be fun. I just wanted to, before we start, I want to make sure we're on the same page with like why we're doing this, right?
Thank you.
I think it, like the core, it's got to be what nothing else is, which is we're celebrating the game, right? So I think overall, like I want it to feel comfortable, relaxed. I want it to strike a very positive tone. I typically rant about things. I'm gonna probably rant today. Like it just comes out naturally, like whatever.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I said it's Jimmy and Bron. I don't even care about the time and they young. I wanna hear them speak and the things that they do. I just wanna see what they move and see how they do the things that they do. Talking to the greats, you can never relate. Niggas, they be taking the bait. I'm seeing them late.
342 Productions. I want to be clear here. This is a basketball show. This is a show with the intention and purpose to celebrate the game, promote the game, explain the game. We will be covering a number of topics, not just the NBA. NCAA, men's and women's, WNBA, FIBA. LeBron and I are two people who I would call us obsessed with the game through the number one teacher experience.
All right, man. We don't need this, man. We don't need this.
I regard it as so important.
What is he drawing up?
Is when.
Oh wait, he's explaining it. Okay. Okay. Wait. Yo, wait a minute. He's really talking to niggas. Hold on.
Through the number one teacher experience. Thumb down. Thumb down.
A half-court set in which a ball screener receives a down screen from another offensive player before initiating a pick and roll. Can we see what this look like? Okay. Oh wait, he's about to draw it. Okay, he's about to draw it.
Is simply a high screen and roll, a high pick and roll. Thumb down angle, which LeBron references, is just when that pick and roll is angled to a side of the floor. So it's not in the center of the floor. It's either in that left high quadrant or
right
high quadrant,
okay, gotcha.
Closer to the sideline. So thumb down angle would simply be a ball handler with the ball, a player in either corner, another player in the high quadrant opposite the ball,
right,
and then the screener.
Right.
And again, these two guys can play pick and roll, and you play out of that. By the way, a lot of teams call high pick and roll something different. Not every team calls it thumb down. I know when I played for Stan Van Gundy and the Orlando Magic, we had thumb down, which was a high screen and roll with the 5-man, the center. We also had a screen and roll called thumb up, which was with the 4-man. LeBron, by the way, will reference X4 and X5. Some teams call the 4-man X4. Some teams just call him 4. Some teams call the 5-man X5. Some teams call the 5-man just 5. Horn's chest is another play that we talk about. Horn's chest is when two offensive players are in.
When one of the two players at the top of the key in Horn's action set a screen for him after setting a ghost screen for the ball handler. Okay.
Both
I think I know what that looks like.
And then two offensive players are directly above the elbow or free throw line area at the 3-point line, creating almost like a Horns. And then the point guard plays off of that. So the point guard can dribble off either side. The point guard can also throw the ball to one of the players at the Horns, and they can get into screening action. This is Horns, very simple. Ball handler, player in either corner, and then two players up here. A lot of times, this guy will be the 5-man, this guy will be the ball handler, and this guy will be the scorer or the shooter. Boston Celtics, by the way, when they run their Horns action, a lot of times the 5-man is spaced to one of these corners, and they involve Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and either Drew Holiday or
Derek
Derek White. Horn's chest is a very simple play. So let's say this is LeBron, and this is D'Angelo right here.
Right.
And this is the X5. This is the 5-man. D'Angelo would dribble off of a LeBron screen right here, and then the 5-man would then set a chest screen or a flare screen for LeBron to this side. And that's ultimately where the ball would go.
Okay. Okay. LeBron screen for D'Lo, then LeBron get a screen, so I guess you throw this pass over here. Okay, if you're a defense, what are you doing to defend this? Right, because you have to address this, right? And D'Lo's going to his right hand. I don't know if D'Lo prefers to go to his right hand as a lefty, or he prefers to go left, but I guess you can flip this play. It doesn't really matter. LeBron been flipping plays since he was 8 years old, so I think I can flip it at 24. So let's just say you flip the play, the ball's going this way, and LeBron's right-handed, so if you can get LeBron catching the ball and, you know, get him going in this direction with his right hand, you know, I'm sure that would be beneficial. But regardless, if you know, it doesn't really matter. If we're screening this way, how are we addressing this? Are you going over? I mean, if it's LeBron and D'Lo, you usually want the person guarding LeBron to stay on LeBron. So if LeBron, you know, if it's a situation, you either got to go over, you got to go under, trap. Now, if the big man's in the situation, you rotate the big man. I don't know. You can try to double it, and whoever's here can come here and take away this first pass. And I mean, I guess then he would just dive to the rim, but then you have to rotate. So if he can't get the ball out of his hands to him, you forcing D'Lo to make a swing pass all the way over here over a double team. Or you can, I don't know.
Another play we talk about is floppy, which is a play that I ran all the time. I'm not actually sure why it's called floppy. I do know that the visual for floppy was this. So I think floppy means you can basically go to either side. Floppy is when a catch and shoot offensive player goes underneath the basket, and there's two bigs, one on either side, that can screen for him, and he looks to come off of screens on either side and catch and shoot the ball. This is just a simple floppy action. So you have the two bigs. Let's say this is the 5-man, this is the 4-man, this is the point guard, and then you have the two wing players underneath the basket. And let's say the 2 is the shooter. He can come off either side for a catch and shoot. He could also come off the 5-man, catch and shoot. And honestly, this is going to get a little discombobulated. I know when I played with Matt Barnes in Philly, we would just dance in circles in here, and then I'd shoot out one of these sides. When I think about the game of basketball, I regard it as so important. I care for it. I love it. I want to pay attention to it. I want to learn more about it. The game is constantly evolving. And hopefully, these discussions and conversations that LeBron and I have, sometimes with other
Is there any more
basketball
plays?
players
All right, let's get into it.
and
I'll let him
basketball
finish
people,
though. He's almost finished though.
hopefully, we can do that. Hopefully, we can teach and explain and celebrate. Hopefully, we can mind the
Hold
game.
on. Listen. I said it's inside the mind with a glass of that wine. You know what's.
What'd you bring?
Well, we're going to start off. I brought 2 bottles. Chambertin 2012. I brought this. This is special. My first championship year. Very special to me. So
It's a good vintage in Burgundy.
very, very good vintage. And then a Lynch Bosch, 95. I just brought that. I just feel like that's a nice little aftershock. But I'm going to open the 2012 Chambertin, and then we could just. That's okay with you.
It's more than okay with me.
I heard you're a wine guy too, so.
Well, I told you this. We were originally supposed to record this first sit down in New York. So in anticipation of that, I actually brought 3 bottles of 89 Leroy Clos de la Roche to the office. And obviously some things came up. We didn't make it work, so.
That's a great sound, by the way.
We were both on the same page. We were both on the same page, which I
Absolutely.
love. It's funny, I called your game Wednesday night against the Clippers. You had just an insane
Trey
fourth
Bolt.
quarter, and I was talking about, as it relates to you, competitive stamina, which is simply the ability to do something at a high level and then get up the next day and do it again. And for you, that's happened season after season, year after year. I think the best players have a level of competitive stamina. And it's one of 3 qualities for me that make a great basketball player. Because your quote after the game, it was, I know I was born with some gifts and athletic abilities, but that only gets you so far.
For sure.
Facts.
What are the qualities for you that make a great basketball player?
Hold on. Before he says them, this is not about basketball, bruh. I don't want basketball. To me, has never been about basketball. Basketball is about life. That's why I get mad when I lose. Because if you can't win a pickup game, right? So, this is about life.
Beyond just talent and skill set and size.
Knowing the history of the game. Knowing the history of the game, knowing the ones that came before you, knowing the ones that paved the way, knowing the reason why you're actually having the ability to actually live out your dream. That doesn't happen without the people that came before you.
Okay.
It doesn't happen without Bill Russell, going through what he went through during the civil rights movement and all those things. Oscar Robertson going on with what he had to deal with, during those times. It does not happen if they're able to just be pure in who they are. That allows us to now perform and do it with no care. Also, I think discipline at people, people use that word so loosely.
What does it mean to you?
Talk to him.
You have to
Discipline. What that mean?
have the ability, when it comes to discipline, it's like you have to sacrifice loved ones.
That's a crazy soundbite though. But I feel him though. That's a crazy soundbite. But I fucking feel him 100%. So far we got LeBron. First thing that came out of LeBron's mouth, league greatness. Right? First thing that came out of his mouth is knowing the ones that came before you. Right? So you're not just thinking about yourself. When you get up in the morning, right? This is about life. You can't just think about you. You have to think about all your ancestors that led up to you being in this position that you're in. That's why you get up in the morning. You don't do it according to your own strength and your own desire. You do it for the ones that came before you. You do it for them. Because without them, you wouldn't be where you are. That's step 1. Step 2, you got to sacrifice, nigga. You got to sacrifice. If you want to be on this level, bro, the thing is, the people that are on this level make it clear that it's like, yo, I don't know if this is what you actually want. I don't really know if this is what you actually want. This is just because I'm an all-time great. That doesn't mean that my life's better than yours per se, right? The guy that came into the NBA, got 2-3 contracts. He was the first one to leave practice, the last one to get there. He would get there 5 minutes before. He would leave 5 minutes after. He's clocking in. He averaged 8 points a game for 6 seasons. He got his money. He's with his family. Mwah, 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 kiss the kids. You know what I mean? Is that a worse life than LeBron's? Who's to say? Some people value more to be able to be there with their family, be there with their loved ones, to be there in those moments, to have that camaraderie. To some people, that's more important. And who's to say that one is more important than the other? But if you want to get to this level right here, if that's your desires, if that's the desires of your heart, just knowing what you're going up against. Right? So when you make your dream board and you say, okay, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be the greatest. I am the greatest. You want to be the greatest. Just know. Right? Just know what it takes before you even start that journey. Know what it takes. Nobody runs a marathon and say, okay, I'm just gonna run as long as I can, as fast as I can, and whatever I got in the tank, I'm gonna do. No, before you even run the marathon, okay, how long is the marathon? Okay, where's the start? Where's the finish? Okay, how long is it gonna take? Okay, how long do I need to train? Okay, do I really want to do this? You don't just start training and no, you say, okay, what is it gonna take? And am I willing to do what it takes? Point blank, am I willing to do what it takes?
You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time.
Talk to him.
If you want to be great.
If you want to be great.
It is very unfortunate.
Right.
And you feel it at times.
Bruh.
You know the saying, if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen.
Facts.
Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot. But you have to have a discipline to sometimes you have to sacrifice loved ones in order to be great because they don't understand.
Right.
And that's okay. They don't understand what it means to, like, I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home after everyone leaves the gym.
That's another gem right there. Get up every day at the same time. You shouldn't be if you want to be great. If you want to be great, he's dropping them. I'm just making sure it's palatable for everybody, including myself. And I'm not only saying this for niggas watch, I'm saying this for myself. Every day you should be getting up at the same time. You should not be motivated by exterior factors. Oh, I gotta get up for work. Oh, I gotta get up for this. Every day you should be getting up at the same time. 5, 6, 7. So everybody set their alarm right now. What time? Let's debrief. What do you want to do? And let's set an alarm every day at the same time. Okay, I want to be great. So I'm setting an everyday alarm for 6 o'clock in the morning. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm making a decision right now. I'm drawing a line in the sand. There's no negotiables, and I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm willing to make those sacrifices. Hold on, let me just make sure I show niggas my alarm real quick. Alarm every day. I don't know if y'all can see that. Alarm every day, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. I'm ready. That's what it takes. Come on. This is what you do in the presence of greatness. You take notes. You don't wait till later. You act now. Let's go. That's one.
I'm gonna take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably gonna train again, and then I'm gonna have dinner, and then I'm going to bed. And I'm gonna do that every single day for a long period of time. That's sacrificing and discipline. And for me, I was 18 when I came into the league. So I got my best friends from high school that's now in college. I got one that's at Ohio State. I got two that's at the University of Akron. I have another one that's at a school in West Virginia, Fairmount State. And they're calling me, telling me, hey, bro, you gotta come down to these parties. You're not going to college. You're never going to be in college. And I couldn't do it. I look back on it now. I wish I would have done a few of them. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I did. But then the third thing, JJ asked, do you really love the game? Like, do you really love the game?
Hold on. Pause that. Jem, do you really love what you do? That's the question. When you get up every day, do you love what you do? It doesn't matter what you do. Do you love what you do, nigga? I don't care if it's painting. You could be Picasso, nigga. Do you love what you do? When you get up every day, do you love what you do? Pick something that you love to do and make it happen, man. If you love what you could do, you could be the best at it. You could be at least one of the best. You can't do shit for the money, man. Just not how you be great. That's what he's telling niggas right now. It's not me saying it. It's him. That's what he's saying. Do you love what you do? Whatever you do when you get up in the morning, do you love what you do? Find something that you love. It don't matter if it take a year, 6 months, 2 years. Find something that you love to do. Find something that is worth spending your life doing.
I'm not just talking about like wins and losses. Do you really love the process of the game?
Love the process.
And everything that happens before
Whoa. Do you love the process? He didn't say, do you like lacing up? He didn't say, do you like hitting a game-winning shot? He didn't say, do you like playing defense? He didn't say, do you like rebounding? He said, do you love the process? Whatever you do, you gotta love the process, man. Let's go.
Referee does like this. That's the easy part. You know this.
Right.
You know this.
Right.
You was one of the first ones in the gym, one of the last ones to leave. everyone sees when the cameras are rolling and the 20,000 fans are there and the cheerleaders are dancing and the popcorn is popping and
Right.
the celebrities are sitting in celebrity row. But like, who has the love for the game when nobody is there? You know?
I love all of that.
He talking to niggas,
And it's
man.
interesting. The love of the game part is so funny to me because I think there's a distinction between loving the game, i.e. the game, the actual competition itself, and what it means to actually love the game and everything that goes into that. You hear guys all the time, I just want to play. I just want to play. Okay. Do you want to do all the things that are necessary
to play
that lead up to playing the actual game?
Well, the guys that say I just want to play their career won't be long.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to put in all the intricate parts of to get to that point. It's not going to last that long. It's not going to last that long. You won't have a long, sustainable career, and that's okay. Some guys, I mean, you've been in a locker room. Some guys don't really care about playing a long time in this league or having a sustain. So sometimes I look in like some of the all-star locker rooms I've been in, and you see a guy 1 year, or you see a guy maybe 2 years, and then he's not in the locker room anymore after that, and you just like wonder to yourself why. You know, you don't know. You don't know if it's the max contract that he got after he made the All-Star team. You don't know if now they know him by one name for one summer. You know, you just don't know. But it's like if you want to be great and want to be like legendary, or not even, I don't even say that. If you want to maximize everything that you have with your career and your ability, then squeeze the fuck out of that lemon. Why not?
Yeah. I want to talk about each of those three things a little in depth because I also have three things. But the history of the game part's interesting to me because you brought up Oscar Robertson. And whether the casual fan knows this or not, Oscar Robertson sued in 1970 for free agency. And that court case took 6 years. So the NBA really didn't have any form of free agency until 1976. Side note, in 1977, at the time in free agency, you had to compensate the team that was losing the player. So Gail Goodrich left the Los Angeles Lakers and went to the Jazz. The Jazz compensated the Lakers with some future draft picks. One of those picks turned out to be Magic Johnson. It's pretty interesting. You talked about the discipline. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool, though. It's like soccer now.
Yeah.
It's like soccer. You got to compensate the club in order.
There wasn't real unrestricted free agency. John Concac was the first guy, and that was like 1987.
Right.
It just didn't exist.
Right.
1987.
The reason, I didn't make as much money as you, but the reason I got to make a lot of money in the NBA is like it's a direct line to Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
direct.
Let's celebrate that, right?
Let's celebrate
You
that.
talk about the sacrificing
That's
loved
real
ones.
talk, man.
I always felt like,
But you know, that's the beautiful thing, bro, because Oscar Robertson be talking all types of crazy about LeBron and shit like that, and he flopping and he making our league worse and he's not leaving it better than he found it. But that's a beautiful perspective for LeBron to have, bro, because it's just like, honestly, like, you could say all of that. I honestly don't really care. Like, obviously, it's not impacting me. I'm fucking LeBron James. I have fucking 40,000 points. Like, let's be fucking serious. I'm the greatest basketball player of all time. Let's be fucking for real. You know, but the reason you don't say nothing back is just because you really have honor, bro. You respect and honor what they did and what they did for you. So that's super cool.
my pursuit was so selfish.
Yeah.
And I would acknowledge that to my wife, my kids, whatever, my friends.
Yeah.
It was so selfish. But
Yeah.
it was like the only way that I knew how to do it.
That's
The
it.
only way.
That's it.
So you touched on those things. My three things are competitive stamina, which I'm going to get to in a second. The love of the game is one of mine, for sure. Caring more about your craft instead of the other stuff that doesn't matter is a direct quote from you.
Yes.
And then the third one, I think,
Yes.
is basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Basketball IQ. I have described Nikola Jokic, I've described you as having supercomputers. Like your processing speed is a little different. I put James Harden in that category. I put Luka in that category. There's a
Give niggas
number
their
of
credit.
guys
Yeah.
that have like a different processing speed. some of this stuff, love of the game, that's a little bit of just desire,
Yep.
attitude, all that
Yep.
stuff. Competitive stamina, same thing.
Yep.
Can you develop basketball IQ at the highest level? You can get a little smarter as a
Right.
player. Can you develop it as
You know
at
what's
the
funny?
highest level?
When you brought up basketball IQ, the first thing that came to my mind, I started thinking right away. I was like, are you born with basketball IQ, or are you taught the game the right way, and now the basketball IQ clicks on? Like, I was literally just, when you was explaining that, because I come from, I believe, great coaching. You know, from my Little League coach, Frank Walker, senior, to my, at the time, AAU coach, Coach Drew Joyce, to my high school coach, who was a former college coach, Coach Dambrot, and then my AAU coach took over when Coach Dambrot went back to college basketball. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I was taught the game the right way. But the one thing that those coaches always told me, they told me that I had an uncanny ability to process information faster than anyone they've ever seen. One coach, and this is, I know you're gonna smirk about this. There's guys in the NBA that if you call a play or a coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head and do it and say, let's run it to the other side, without the coach drawing on the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I don't know, I never understood that. So if I say we running thumb down angle, we're running on the right side, so because I have a left-hand point guard, he wants to come middle to a strong hand. He has the ability to hit the pocket pass with the left hand, has the ability to throw ahead, he's lefty, and also has the ability to throw back on the shake. But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side, because now the right-hand guard coming right, I've had teammates that's like, oh, what do you mean? Coaches always, in practice, we only ran it from this side.
Yeah.
I could flip a play when I was 8 years old. No matter if it was just pass and cut, no matter if it was, let's run flex, but let's start on the left side. No matter if it was just, let's DHO, driving kick. The last one, all right, now let's just drive the baseline, drive, drift. If the forward on the left side is looking at the ball, you can slot cut. I could do that. I was doing that stuff when I was like 8, 9 years old, and my coaches would just be blown away, and I wouldn't know where it came from. I have no idea. So to get back to your question, I think I was born with a sports IQ, and it could have been any sport, but I just think basketball was the one that I chose, and maybe I was chosen to do that as well. Yeah. And I just took it to a whole, as I got older and your mind gets, you start to live it, you start to want to be a part of it, you start watching. I started watching the games, when I was like 9, 10 years old. When I first started, I was watching just a fan. I was just a fan of Michael Jordan and Anthony Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and, those guys. I was just a fan. But then when I started playing the game, I actually started like studying what those guys were doing out on the floor and what teams were doing, how teams were guarding, how coaches were coaching, subbing patterns, time of possession.
Wow.
One thing that kills me, JJ, in our league.
Talk to him, Bron.
I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
The 2-for-1 shot at the end of quarters.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand why the 2-for-1 is important. Obviously, it's numbers. You get 2 possessions, the other team gets 1 possession.
In theory, it's a free shot.
In theory, it's a free shot. But what people sometimes don't account for, the 4 or 5 possessions before that. Are we on a run? Are we on a heater? Have we gotten a good shot over the last 2.5 minutes? What is the other team doing? How are they in a great rhythm? If we haven't gotten a great shot in 2.5, 3 minutes and we've been turning the ball over, why am I just gonna dribble down and shoot a 40-footer with 33 on the clock? Why not get a great look? Because that great look at the end of the third, even if we get 1 shot, may give us momentum going into the 4th quarter.
Right. It's interesting because I think it
agree.
does fuck with the flow of the game. And as a player, I felt that. As a broadcaster now, where I'm calling games, you have such a good feel as like an outside observer of this action happening. So, end of the second quarter, you're going into halftime with the lead. You've established, let's say, a pick and roll partnership where you're getting a good shot every time down the floor. On the other end, you're getting stops. You're getting stops. So the other team's having. You're right. Why are you going to just jack up a 35-footer? Just go to the pick and roll, rely on your defense. Now, boom, you go into the half with essentially the same momentum you would have if you get the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
By the way, you shouted out your coaches. I want to say this.
That's fire.
Because I think some of it is innate with basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Some of it is the way you're taught. Some of it is going back to your point about discipline, the dedication to the craft.
Facts.
I gotta shout out my coaches now. Because Delmar Irving, Keith Haynes, Dick Wall, my early coaches for the Roanoke Jaguars. They taught me how to play. They taught me how to play with toughness. I get to JV, 8th grade, Chris Morris, Billy Hicks. Then I go to Coach K at Duke. So by the time I got to the NBA, I knew how to process and think the game. It wasn't new to me. It wasn't new to me to think the game.
You also knew it was bullshit and what was not bullshit.
Yes.
There's a lot of bullshit that gets taught in our league because our league has been feast off potential. Guys with potential. They come in and say, this guy has potential. We have to, if it's not year 1, maybe year 2, or not year 3, or maybe year 4, or we're gonna pick up his option in year 4. Like, it's been grasped on potential. Like that's the whole thing of the lottery. The whole thing of the lottery, pick 1 through 13 or 14, I don't even know what it is now when it cuts off like you've been a lottery pick. But it makes sense why those guys that's like 16 to 30, 16 to 42, why those guys be on real contending teams making impacts.
Why is it the same teams that always draft well? And the same teams that always draft poor IQ?
Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
For sure. He can process, flip, do things on the go. Like, it's very weird to me that he's not coaching at a high level. I think it's because he doesn't want to do it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And who wants to deal with all these rich, entitled guys all the time? It's just,
you guys make too much money now.
It's just a weird thing.
You guys make too much money now.
It's just a weird
Let's
thing.
get a cheers, man.
Let's get a cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the wine, by the way.
It smells amazing, too.
W toast.
Going back to that competitive stamina thing, because I was calling the game, and I knew this because I played in LA, but Clippers home games against the Lakers is not really a home game. Half the crowd are Clippers fans, half the crowd are Lakers fans. And so the arena felt very subdued, because you guys were getting your ass kicked.
Getting our ass kicked.
The body language was bad. I think I even mentioned that on air. Like, you just saw it in the huddles. You saw it coming out of timeouts, going into timeouts. You saw it when guys were getting subbed out.
Yeah.
Like, it was just bad body language. And then, as Darvin Ham said, you decided to put your cape on and lead this comeback. You outscored the Clippers by yourself in the fourth quarter. In that moment, where you're down 19 in the fourth,
bring us through that.
It's a dead game. You know your team is, I call it like letting go of the rope. Doc Rivers used to always say that. Don't let go of the rope.
Yep.
What goes through your mind?
You probably got a few minutes to try to change it, or you're gonna get pulled. Knowing it's a back-to-back.
Right.
Knowing that, okay, we lose to the Clippers. We got our ass kicked, okay. But we can't then in the very next night lose to Washington as well. So I go out there down 19, with the lineup, I believe at the start of the fourth lineup, it was myself, D-Lo, Jackson Hayes, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish. So, Coach drew up a play. First play, I believe he drove up Horn's chest. And they fucked up. They fucked up on the Horn's chest. So we ran it again. And that's another thing that bothers me about the NBA.
Okay, wait. Let's talk about this.
And they fucked up. They fucked up on loved ones for a long period of time. If you want to be great, It is very unfortunate.
No, wait, I went back. Where were
Got
you?
our ass kicked, okay. But we can't. Then the very next night, drew up a play. First play, I believe we drove up Horn's chest.
What's the proper defense for this though?
And they fucked up. They fucked up
Why the fuck is PJ Tucker out there?
on the Horn's chest. And they fucked up. They fucked up on the
Yeah, PJ's not on time, and PJ's on bullshit. You should have Kawhi or PG in at this time. You only have 15 with 9 minutes left. That's a lot of time, bro. 2-3, a quick 8-0 run, bro. The game just like that is flipped. So, PJ Tucker being out there was just an L decision, honestly.
Horn's chest. So we ran it again. And that's another thing that bothers me about the NBA too. Why do we not continue? Just run the same thing over and over until they stop it.
Until they stop it, yes.
Guys would run a play one time, then you would score, and then they'd change the play. But anyways, we ran it again, and they fucked it up again. So, I mean, for me, if I see 2 threes go down, I'm going to check and see if it's a heater in this right elbow for sure.
Heater!
And I hit another one.
Check that heater.
And at this point, now I'm feeling really good. I got a nice bounce in my step. We're getting stops.
You know what I mean?
And I take one down the right wing, and PJ's picking me up in transition. And I rarely shoot the ball on the run.
Hezzy pull. Wow.
Especially if the ball's in my right hand, I rarely shoot it. But I had a bounce and I had a feeling. I felt like I said, if I can make this one go, I know. This is when like NBA Jam, you're on fire. If this one goes, yeah. And I'll let that one go from the right wing by their bench. So I kind of almost bumped into T. Lue, and they called timeout. That's when I knew that the momentum can change. The momentum can change, and once the ball, the snowball gets going down that hill, snowball turns into the avalanche, and the avalanche just turns.
That's another gem right there. I don't know if y'all really paying attention, but he talked about that snowball, bruh. Momentum is a big deal, bruh. If you can get momentum on your side, bruh. If niggas feel like, damn, nothing could go right for me, it just seemed like it's just momentum not on your side. But if you just keep working at that momentum, if you can get momentum on your side, bro, you good. All you have to do is get momentum on your side, bro. You could be down 9-2 in life, game 21, bro. A couple baskets here, a couple stops, a couple plays, bro. All you have to do is get momentum on your side. If you can just have the mindset of like, damn, I'm down right now. Shit's not looking good for me. It's just looking bad. If I can just get momentum on my side, bro. If I can just get momentum, bro. Like, if I can just get a win, bro. And as far, obviously, I don't have particularly YouTube success. You know what I'm saying? I'm monetized, and that's about the extent that I can say that I've been successful on YouTube. Right, but I in my opinion, not as it only pertains to YouTube, just in life in general, though, like, if you can get a win, right? If you change the game, right? If you change the mindset of the goal, right? And you say, damn, like I have almost no subscribers, bro. Fuck. I'm posting these shits. I'm getting no views. This shit is hurting my feelings, bro. Oh God, I'm spending hours on this video, and it's shit, and it sucks. And it's nobody's fault but my own. The video sucks. I'm watching this shit back. The shit's terrible. I'm spending hours on a terrible video. But if I can just upload 1 week in a row, that's a win. If you change the narrative, bruh. If you can just change the narrative, bruh. Like, literally, like, I remember, right, when I was in high school, right? I went from my first year not making the team to my last year being a captain on the team. Right? And it was all about perspective, bruh. It was all about my mindset. It was all about my energy, bro. Because I remember my first year not making it. I almost made it. I was close. I just wasn't skilled. That whole summer, I worked out. I was practicing. I was still pretty ass, to be honest with you. But I came in with confidence. When you work out, you put in the work, you have confidence, you have a belief. And I was like, nah, I gotta make something happen, right? We, you know, and you in a try, you just run up and down the court. You like, bro, I'm not doing nothing. I gotta go do something. Let me go grab a rebound. Next shot they go up on life, I'm grabbing that rebound. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not getting the ball. Niggas not really trying to score on me. I can't really score like that. I don't really know how to dribble, but damn it, I know how to grab a rebound. On life, I'm grabbing his rebound. On everything I love, I'm grabbing his rebound. Try out, and I end up making the team. He said, listen, man, you only made the team because we need rebounds. And to somebody like, that's a big moment, because to somebody that might be like, yo, like, damn, like that might bring you down. I'm like, on God, all I needed was to practice with y'all. I know I suck, but that's okay. That's fine, because I can suck today, but that don't mean I'm going to suck, and I might suck tomorrow, and I'm probably going to suck next week, and next month I'm going to be trash, and in 2 months I'm going to probably still be dirt. But at some point, I'm pretty high. And once I get to pretty high from trash, bro, the sky's the ceiling. The sky's the limit. And so I was just like, bro, I don't care about whatever you're talking about. I'm on the team. Give me my jersey. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like in life, if you can change the narrative of I need to win to whatever the next small win for you would be. So in this case with LeBron, they're down 20 going to the fourth or whatever, the momentum's bad and shit like that. And he say, okay, I got probably 3-4 minutes. He probably put me on a back-to-back. I got 3-4 minutes to make this happen. If we can just get 2 stops and 2 buckets in a row. If you change the narrative of what's a win, if you change the narrative of what's a win and focus on that and focus on what you can control. I said, okay, if I just upload 30 days in a row, I don't care how trash it is, I don't care how many views I get, that's a win. And I can look in the mirror and say, okay, you won. You got this win. You get what I'm saying? You are one step closer. Then you say, okay, what could I do differently? Okay, the lighting's ass. Okay, let's get some new lighting. Okay, that one change, I made one change and it made a marginal difference. That's a win, bro. I got better today. Point blank. Are you better today than you were yesterday? You don't need to be. You could be down 500,000. You could be in the hole. You could be in debt. You could be homeless. But if you have a mindset of, am I better today than I was yesterday? What are we talking about? That's the only thing niggas can focus on.
It's over with. So I just felt good at that moment.
It's a few things there. So, like with the 3 ball, we've seen it so often now. No lead is really safe.
No.
Think back to early in your career. I came in the league in 06, 07. I played no minutes my first 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we had a 19-point lead going into the 4th, I might get all 12 minutes of garbage time.
For sure.
People would clear their benches.
Yeah, for sure.
This was 15 years ago.
For sure.
People would clear their benches with a 17-point lead in the 4th and 9 minutes to go.
For sure.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light-skinned fucker came in the league that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative. He did. He single-handedly changed the no lead is safe. It's like Pat Mahomes right now.
It's interesting you bring up Steph, because I think there's
Love that guy,
a long history of
Steph.
Great players that have impacted the game.
Hold on, wait. I need to get one of these, bro. This is like daily water. You drink one of these a day. That's your daily water intake. That's a gem for the day. I need to get one of those. I need to go to Target or Amazon and get one of those and just mac out with one of those right there. I ain't gonna lie. Just keep it simple, man. Just keep it simple.
Players
Get one of
that
those
have
right
impacted the game. And you can see a lineage between different skill sets, right? Michael to Kobe, right? You can see that.
Yep.
I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph. And you can certainly point to like Harden for sure in that era, Damian Lillard for sure, but you're right, it started with Steph.
When it comes to influence, since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game, and obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
Sure.
But Steph and Allen Iverson are the 2 biggest influential guys in our game since I've been watching and covering it. One, they're 6'3", 6'4", if you want to.
Steph's not 6'4".
If you want,
Iverson's not
if you want to
6
look on the
foot.
back of a basketball card, you're always a lot taller on the back of the basketball card.
How do I do it all? With a little help. And to support my family's immune health, I choose Airborne.
She's bad. I ain't gonna lie. She's pretty as fuck. Anyway.
Allen Iverson and Steph, they were just so relatable, and
Facts.
kids felt like they could be them. They were guys that was not always counted on. They were small in stature, and they just defined the odds. So you got AI, who's like unbelievable crossover, cornrows, arm sleeve. We wear arm sleeve. Everyone wears an arm sleeve now because of Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going in the trenches, laying it up over bigs, whatever the case may be. And now you have Steph, who's shooting over the Empire State Building. It's like those two are the two most influential when you say their game, how they changed the game, and the kids, and like, those are two guys that you just wanted to watch every single night.
I have an arm sleeve because of Allen Iverson. No bullshit.
Listen,
no bullshit.
One of my tattoos is because of Allen Iverson, for sure.
And Steph, I think he changed, the influence with Steph, I think, is he fundamentally changed how we viewed how the game should be played with the three-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, because part of the Steph thing and this three-point revolution for a fan is that we have now simplified the NBA. All right, we're just going to shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
My question to you, going back to that basketball intelligence piece, does the game require more basketball intelligence now, or does it require less than when you first started?
Wow. That's a good question.
You can't ask me that because I'm always side on basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Always. I think throughout the regular season, you can get away with a low IQ team if you're talented. You can get away with it in the first round and maybe get away with it in the second round. But when you get to the conference finals and you get to the finals, obviously the top 4 teams in the conference finals, they have players, unless the team just happen to hit a heater and they just get lucky.
Heater.
But the top 4 teams normally are going to be the teams with the best players,
Heater.
4 of the best coaches. And what's going to separate them is now the basketball IQ kicks in. Because there's moments in the game that a coach cannot prepare you for, film can't prepare you for, the history of the game can't prepare you for,
Right.
Where you have to have a basketball IQ to make adjustments right away. And if you don't have that level of mind frame or capacity, then a team like Denver, who has one of the greatest IQ guys that we've ever seen in Jokic, Golden State, Draymond, Steph, any one of my teams, if I played you in the finals, myself, and when I won it in 20, it was myself and Rondo on the floor. So I think that those things help. I believe that when Golden State beat Boston, it came down to IQ in the finals. Because Boston, to me, had the better talent.
Facts.
Boston had the better talent. But it came down to IQ. People say experience, IQ.
I made this comment the other day
Okay.
about Tatum. It feels like with him, the reads are quicker, making the right play, it's just quicker. He doesn't fight the game as much. I did the details thing for ESPN
Yeah.
during that finals, and I did Clay was the first episode, Steph was the second episode, Tatum was the third, and so I had all these Tatum clips I got to go through and break down. I don't never watch the episode; they it's behind a paywall. But what I saw was on the isolations on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times would be in the slot,
Yep.
the high quadrant,
Yep.
right? And they've given him space. They would bring that low man over early. Sometimes it was Draymond,
Yep.
but not always.
Not always.
Sometimes it was Clay.
Yep.
And very rarely did he end up getting the Golden State Warriors into rotation.
Yeah.
Now, it feels like he's just making the play off the ball. Now, it did happen a couple times in that finals.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as quick,
Right.
and it was rare.
Yeah.
And obviously with their personnel, like it's different now with Porzingis, but I think that's part of like the growth. So
that's part of the
even
growth.
going back to like the question about can you teach basketball IQ, in some ways
you can.
It's innate.
Right.
But in some ways, if you're studying it,
I think that humans can learn anything to an extent, right? You know, I heard that, you know, if you want to be the greatest in the world at something, you have to have a natural gift and talent for it. Now, if you want to be successful at something, you may not necessarily need to be extremely talented, or, you know, you could have marginal talent at best or be average talent. You know, if I am, you know, let's just say I wanted to make the NBA. If I had a 10 out of 10 work ethic, I'm sure I could have made the NBA. You know, I don't have a natural talent for the NBA. I would say I'm a natural athlete. I'm naturally athletic, and I'm a naturally smart person. I don't know if I would say I have naturally high basketball IQ, but I have natural IQ when it comes to certain things. Like, I know when a player is not comfortable going right. I know he's not comfortable going left. I know when he wants to shoot in certain areas. I may not necessarily know like LeBron level, but I have a certain level. So if you want to be in a certain area echelon, you have to be naturally talented, and you have to, you know, it comes with both. But you can be successful. You can make a living in anything if you put in enough work. Anybody can make a living in almost anything with enough work, almost regardless of talent. So,
you can see the growth in a player.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, there's a great saying that says the best teacher in life is experience, as well. And we look at Tate. I mean, he's 25 years old. He's 25 years old, and I believe he's been to the conference finals 4 times. Been to obviously the NBA finals once. He's 25. I didn't win my first one until I was 28. I think Joker won his first one at 27. I think MJ was 28 as well.
Kobe without Shaq was around the same age.
Yeah, so
Steph was.
You know, I think we have we have a lot of expectations on JT, but he's experienced a lot of winning in his career so far. And obviously we you know, everyone wants to see him get over the hump, but 4 conference finals in a finals appearance before the age of 26 that's elite. And like you just said, he's continued to grow, and you know, they are in a position where they can make another title run. And like you said, personnel helps. You know, Adam Porzingis and getting Drew for a bag of Lay's potato chips, that helps as well. that helps as well. But you know, JT is definitely the you know, when you go and you start scouting for Boston, he's the number 1 guy for sure.
Almost.
Basketball IQ to me, when you were earlier than me, when I first got in the NBA though, what that meant to me in some ways was being able to remember a play. Honestly, as simple as that. Being able to recognize patterns.
Yep.
You come out of an ATO, okay.
Oh my God.
There's a misdirection here. I know there's going to be a pin down coming, right? It's just that's pattern recognition.
Yep.
Right.
Offensively, defensively, it's just making the right read.
Yep, making the right read.
Knowing the game plan, like all that's basketball IQ. I think what's interesting about today's NBA is what smart coaches do and what smart players do, which did not happen when I first got to the NBA. Nearly every possession, all you're doing is trying to find the right matchup.
A target.
You're playing chess on the possession.
It's target basketball. Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest difference.
Yeah, that never happened.
Bro, I was watching a game. I was calling a game, actually. Guy had the ball, good offensive player, had the ball at the top of the key, and they're playing the Clippers, and end of the shot clock, 7 on the clock. Another guy off the ball is being guarded by Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up to set a pick and roll for the guy with the ball.
How the fuck
it makes no
would you do
sense.
And I'm like, that's just low basketball IQ.
That's just low basketball IQ.
Keep Kawhi away from the
That
ball.
is low basketball IQ. That is low basketball IQ.
Talk to him, Bron.
That doesn't make any sense. And that happens a lot in our. And I'm going to go back to when you first
Because niggas
started.
it's levels to life, man. Niggas do a lot of shit without really thinking. Niggas just be like, all right, I want to do something. Let me set a screen. That happens a lot. Oh, let me do something. Let me shoot the ball. Let me do something. Niggas don't really think about what they're doing. And a lot of times niggas don't really have the capacity to Niggas don't have the capacity. Like, if you sit down with a nigga and you're watching film, you're like, okay, the 7 on the clock, I got to get up a shot. You're coming to set me a screen with somebody guarding you that is the best defender on the team. Like, to you, does that make sense? Oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Because niggas don't have the capacity to think about that sometimes. That's low, he's right, low basketball IQ.
You said remembering a play. How many guys fuck up a play out of timeout burns me alive? It burns me alive that a coach can sit there and guys, all 5 guys, 10 eyes are looking at the play and they come out of timeout and fuck it up. Bothers me so bad. But yeah, like you said, you knew, like when you played, you had 2 reads. I'm coming off left, right, and if the big is not up, I'm shooting that bitch. And if the big is up, I'm pocket passing.
Yeah.
What else are we talking about?
That's it.
Well, the one other thing.
He said, hold on, I did more than that, bro. He said, yo, bro, come on, I did more than that. Don't do that. Bro, don't do that.
Would be back, right? And I'd get the stun off the
And
passer.
you get the stun off the passer.
So like when I played in Philly, they would do that off Ben, and then I would just kick to Ben, and he's got a head of steam going down the lane.
Well, I mean,
right?
and when Ben
you
was in the field,
you got to read the nail guy too.
you got to read the nail guy.
I don't kind of like underestimate.
Well, that's not. Well,
my
that's not.
reads.
Well,
Come on, man.
well, yes, I agree. I agree. I was more thinking with the Clippers. I was thinking more with the
okay,
Clippers.
okay.
A pocket to.
It's so weird though because even like the coverage on catch and shoot stuff, and there's not a ton of catch and shoot guys
Right.
anymore. Where like you're not running floppy. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen a lot.
yeah.
But like when I first started running it, or like Ray in Boston,
Right. Yeah.
when you're running that, you would always stun up with the big.
With the big.
And the pocket pass was always there.
Always there.
Once teams started playing more drop coverage, they just kept the big back and catch and shoot.
Right.
And so a lot of times that help would actually come off the passer. So
Right.
if they knew we were in a catch and shoot play, kick to me, the help comes off the passer, then it's
Right.
I got to make that read back to the top.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because now offense is so more extended now. You know, the big could be the guy that can help up a little bit because, if you look at like Rip Hamilton, at the time he wasn't coming off their floppy down action going to the 3-point line. He was coming off more elbow action, so you can kind of, contact help with the big, and then mostly when we came in the league, there was a point guard in the front. There was another forward at the free throw line, and there was 2 bigs. So even if you did get extended a little bit when you made the pocket pass, at least the other big, X4, X5, could come over and help. Now, well, in Boston's case, it's 5 guys on the perimeter at one time.
Nobody's in the paint.
Nobody's in the paint. You have Drew, Jason, Brown, Porzingis could be at the top. He could be, you got Derek White. They're all over the place. So, the level of where you help from has changed a lot because the bigs in basketball history have been programmed to help no matter where they are.
No matter what.
And that's where the IQ comes in too. You got certain bigs that if I just drive this slot,
gonna help no
and they
matter
say,
what.
don't help strong side shooter in the
Don't
corner.
help strong side. Yo, I'm done.
Easiest 3. You just know that there's certain bigs that he's going to leave no matter what.
No
because
matter
he's
what.
Been programmed
He's been
his whole
fucking
life to protect
programmed.
the
Your
rim.
control. W podcast, man. W podcast. W podcast, man. That was actually really good, man. Let me give that a like. We sitting at an hour and 46 minutes. I feel like that was pretty calm. You know what I'm saying? Get these video ups and things of that nature and lock in. And tomorrow we gonna be back tomorrow and we gonna be better than we was today. That's really all that I can ask for. That's really all I can try to do, man. Just try to be better than I was yesterday. With that being said, though, I'm gonna see y'all niggas. I'm gonna talk to y'all niggas when I talk to y'all niggas. You know what I mean?